It is absolutely a modern parable because I know for a fact it was written last week. The author's not very clever, but he did the best he could. So the Christmas Eve 8-minute parable, if you will. It was Christmas Eve in Layton, Utah, and everything was going perfectly wrong. For weeks, Tom had promised his wife, honey, this year I'm going to slow down, enjoy Christmas, and focus on the real meaning. That was before the Christmas lights caught fire on the porch. The dog knocked over the tree. The turkey slipped out of his hand and skated across the kitchen floor like an Olympic gold medalist. Now it's 8:30. The house smelled like burnt gravy. Tom was standing outside in the freezing cold, trying to get cell reception because the Wi-Fi was down again. Merry Christmas indeed. I hope yours is going better than that. He muttered to himself, peace on earth, goodwill to men, as soon as I find a signal. As he shuffled in the snow, he noticed something weird, something unusual. Across the cul-de-sac, 3 new neighbors had decorated their doors in wildly different ways. Door number 1 had flashing lights that blinked like disco balls from the 70s. You know what I'm talking about. The kind of display that gives pilots attitude confusion. Door number 2 had a 12-foot inflatable Santa who swayed in the wind like he was sampling the eggnog for a little too long. Door number 3, the newest family on the block, had no lights, no wreath, no decorations at all. Just a simple wooden plaque with one word, Immanuel. Tom squinted. Immanuel, he read out loud. Must be their Wi-Fi password. Okay, so he laughed at his own joke and, went back inside with that word stuck in his head, Immanuel. What does that even mean? That night, after the kids were in bed and the power flickered back on, Tom sat down with his mug of cocoa with the tiny marshmallows in it, that tasted faintly like despair. He grabbed the old family Bible, the one that only came out on Christmas and Easter, He flipped to the bookmark his mother had placed there years ago. It was open to Matthew chapter 1. His eyes went to verse 23. Matthew chapter 1, verse 23, behold, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they shall call him Immanuel, which translated means God with us. Tom whispered, God with us. He looked around at the half-decorated living room, the broken ornaments, the burnt candles, the smell of bad turkey. Right, he said out loud. God with us, here, in this mess. That's when the doorbell rang. Tom frowned. It was way too late. He peeked through the window. Nobody was there. Then he opened the door and found a small envelope on the welcome mat with a handwritten note that said, quote, for the Jensen's family, from door number 3, end quote. Inside was a Christmas card with a simple drawing, Mary and Joseph holding baby Jesus in a small house. Underneath were the words written, quote, he came to our world so that he could come into our hearts, end quote. No name, no return address, just Immanuel. That night, Tom couldn't sleep. His mind wandered through the events of the day, the frustration, the failure, the frantic pace, and now this word, this big word, Immanuel. He drifted into a dream he's dreaming. In this dream, Tom was walking down Hillfield Road on Christmas morning. Everything was covered in fresh white snow. But something was different. There was no stores open, no lights on, no music playing, just silence. Just powerful silence he could feel. Then he noticed a man walking beside him, ordinary, yet peaceful. There was something steady about him. In the dream, Tom asked, "You new around here?" The peaceful and steady man smiled. You could say that. "I've been around a long time, but people don't always recognize me." They walked in silence for a moment. Then the man pointed to the Wasatch Mountains. "You see those? I made them, and I made you too." Tom, in his dream, blinked. "Wait, who are you?" The man smiled again and said, "You've seen my name before. On door number 3. "Immanuel," he whispers. The man nodded. "That's right. God with you." Tom swallowed hard. "So you mean you're here, like really here, on earth, in Utah, in Layton, in my neighborhood, in my house?" The man's eyes softened. "I was there when your daughter prayed for patience last week. I was with you when your job fell through last spring. I was beside you when you sat in the hospital parking lot wondering if your father would make it. And yes, I was in the kitchen tonight when you dropped the turkey." Tom laughed through the tears. "You saw that?" Immanuel grinned. "I see everything." That's the good news and the comfort. You're never alone, Tom. Not on Christmas Eve, not in February, not in the middle of the night when the world feels empty. I am with you. Good dream, right? Good dream. Okay, so the next morning, Tom woke up before dawn. He slipped on his coat. He went outside into the cold, still darkness. Fresh snow had covered everything with a soft, white hush. He looked across the street. Door 3 was still plain. No blinking lights, no inflatable Santas, just that wooden plaque that said, "Immanuel." Tom smiled and whispered, "God with us." He understood. He knew. When his wife woke up, she found a note on the kitchen table. "Gone for a walk. Talked with God last night. He says he's moving in for good." Right? That's a great note. That morning, before the presents were opened or the cinnamon rolls were baked, Tom gathered his family in the living room. He opened the Bible again and read Matthew 1, verse 23, which says, "Behold, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they shall name him Immanuel," which translated means God with us. He looked around at his sleepy kids and his smiling wife. "You know," he said, "I think Christmas is more than remembering what happened back then. It's realizing who's here right now." Jesus didn't just come to be God with Mary and Joseph. He came to be God with you, with each of us. And after that night, long after the wrapping paper was thrown away and the dishes were done, Tom wrote in his journal, quote, "This year I met my neighbor and I met my Savior. His name is Immanuel, Jesus Christ, our Savior, God with us, God with me," end quote. He waited for a moment. And then he added this line. Next year, I'm decorating my door, not with lights, but with his love. End quote. Okay, end of parable. Friends, Immanuel isn't just a Christmas word. It's a lifelong promise. When you walk into the unknown of next year, 2026, Jesus walks with you. When the world feels silent, Jesus still speaks. When your heart feels empty, Jesus still fills. Matthew 1, verse 23 says, "Behold, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they shall name him Immanuel," which translated means God with us. So tonight, in this moment, as we celebrate Jesus' birth, ask yourself, have you welcomed Immanuel, God with you, into your life? Because, my friends, the miracle of Christmas is not that Jesus once came near so long ago. It's that Jesus still comes near now, and he's available to you as you are ready to receive him. Let's pray.